welcome back to Jess Talks, the part of the show where I come out and I talk. Today's subject, I don't know quite what I'm going to title this video, and I don't know quite what to say this video is about. Today's subject is going to be on society and schools. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to be talking about schooling again. Schooling again. I just finished reading a book, one out of 3 books written by John Taylor Gatto. I don't know how to say his last name. The one I just finished is called, what was it called? Weapons of Mass Destruction. His famous book is called Dumbing Us Down. And I always promote people in these videos. I wonder if I should be concerned by that. But I just finished reading one of 3 of his books about the public education, public schools, and all of that whatnot. He was a teacher for 30 years in New York City, and he wrote a bunch of books about it. They were recommended by my mom. My mom has read all 3 of them, and she recommended them to me when I was telling her originally about my Just Talk ideas. So I'm reading through them. Again, only finished one so far, but it was a really good book, and it was very, I don't know if I'm going to say eye-opening, because I already knew a good chunk of what he was talking about, but it was very, I guess, encouraging to know that I'm not the only one that kind of views public schools in a bad light. So, as I said, this is going to be a little bit of a dig at society, I guess. In one of my previous videos, the daycare part 1, there was a lot of things I didn't say. There was a lot of things I did say in that video. I'll probably do more when it comes to daycares and everything. But some of the feedback I got from quite a few people with that video was comments on society, being things like it's not realistic. Realistically, I can't go send my kids. I can't keep my kids at home. I have to do the daycares because society and everything. Realistically, it's not possible. Money and work and finances and stuff. And I'm going to do a video on when it comes to the finances, when it comes to homeschooling. That's going to be a later video. I've got to do get the figures, the math all set up for that video, but it is in the works. Whether or not those feedbacks, what are correct or not, personally, for the most part, it's not, for the record. You can keep your kids home from not doing daycare, but anyway, so that's not the point I want to drive at. The point I want to drive at is, even if it is correct, that's the problem. That is the issue that I'm driving at. Sure, let's say that's correct, and that our society is built up in a way that you have to send your kids to public school, you have to send them to daycare. What I'm fighting against is changing society. If that is true, if that is how society is actually built and everything, that's the problem. That's what I'm arguing against. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't have to send our children away. We shouldn't have to have strangers raise them and to grow them, and we shouldn't have to do that. That's the problem with society, that people feel like that, or even not even feel like it. If society is built up that way, that is the problem with society, that is forced. Now, where I'm coming from a little bit here is it's actually not. You don't have to do that. There are so many people out there who don't realize that they have a choice, that they can choose to keep their kids at home and educate them, and, well, just educate them in general, and educate them better, and educate them in the way that they should be educated at their house and at home and everything. You can do it, okay? There are so many people out there who have been, I'm going to use this word, brainwashed and thinking that because they're the parents, they're dumb, they're stupid. You can't possibly raise your kids. You can't possibly train them or, teach them anything. And, you have to send them to public school and let their teachers do it because they're the smart ones. They're the ones with the education to do it and everything. That's not true. I would tell you right now that you are as smart, if not smarter, than the teachers. Because for the most part, you had the same training as the teachers. You really do. even if you haven't gone to college or anything, you still have the basic set of training that the teachers have. Sure, most of them has gone to college and they've gotten a little bit more than that. The point is, at public schools, that voice crack though, they're not really being educated, and definitely not to a very high standard that they used to be. Legitimately, look up the different, over the past 50, 60 years or something, there's been such a decline of education and people being able to pass certain tests, being able to read a certain high level and everything. There has been such a decline for years now, for generations now in this, that no, I think your kid will have a better chance at home than going to the same public school that failed you. If you don't feel like you're educated enough to train your own kids, then why are you going to send the kids to the school that trained you, that failed you? If the schools don't set you up where you can teach and train children, why are you sending the children to the same place? Another thing that was discussed with previous videos that I've made on here was a bit of a dig at daycares. I made the point of saying that you don't know what's going on with your kids. Chances are good that they're not only being bullied by other kids, by their peers, that chances are good they're being bullied by their teachers as well, or it's an and/or situation with them. Oh, it's only 1 in a million. That's only 1 in 1,000. That's a kid is going to get bullied or being an outcast or pushed aside or forgotten by a kid. And I'll speak specifically for daycares because that's where my knowledge is. It's only 1 in a million that a kid has a bad time at a daycare or get bullied or get neglected or something. One, that's not true. It's really not. It's so not true. It is not 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 or anything. In my daycare, all the classrooms had a minimum 1 bully, and with their peers, chances are very, very good that there are teachers out there who are very much so bullied or not taking care of the kids, neglecting them. The neglect is a hard one that I can be testified to, I guess. I didn't mean to neglect anyone, but that one quiet kid in the corner, it's hard to, give them proper love and affection and attention when I got 2 kids fighting on one side, I'm changing a diaper, and a kid is throwing up on the other side. That quiet kid in the corner is going to get neglected, is going to get forgotten and pushed to the side. It's going to happen, just point blank, period. Okay? So first off, that statement's not really true. But second off, just stop and think for a minute. If that statement is true, that it's 1 in 1,000, I'll use that instead of a million, 1 in 1,000 kids, it's a very rare case that the kid is bullied or neglected or something. Let's say that is true. That's still a problem. That's still an issue, okay? It doesn't matter if it's a very rare occurrence. The fact that it is the occurrence, the fact that it does happen, that's the problem. That's the issue, okay? Because I can just about guarantee if your kid's at home with you that they're going to get way more love and affection. And then they're going to be able to get in a public school, in a public setting, and anything along that line. I don't really care if it's a rare occurrence or anything. The fact that it is occurrence is the problem, is the issue. It may not happen to your kids, and they may not have happened to you when you were in school, which I also kind of doubt. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening, that there is a parent out there who has a child who is being neglected or abused or bullied or something along that line within the school setting, whether it's the daycare or within a public school setting. Even college, I'm told, has very similar things. Very similar, if less being bullied by other college students and more by their teachers. I don't care if it's not a reoccurring thing. I don't care if it's a rare thing. The fact that it is a thing is the issue. That's the problem. That's what I'm arguing against. Your kid being homeschooled, being home with you, and not even homeschooling. We'll just stick with the daycare for the moment. If your kid doesn't go to daycare and spends time with you, or I don't know, if you're working with your spouse, or if the grandparents, or the really close friend that you know very dearly, that kid is going to get the love and the affection and the training that a little child needs. Kids need all of those things. They need attention, they need love and affection and teaching and I can't think of the word I want. But they need that geared towards them to grow up, to learn, and to become somebody. Kids need that. They're not going to get it in a daycare, and they're not going to get it in a public school system. I'm kind of mixing like two separate things here because I'm going to go real quick back to the other things. I'm going to public schools, just in general. The kid's going to get bullied either by their peers or by their teachers. It's just going to happen. And with the public schools, again, the education is declining in them. Kids are not being held to the same educational standards as they used to. And every few generations, it gets worse. I do want to have just one quick thing. I highlighted this. I'm going to see if I can put this up on the screen too, because I absolutely loved this. This was in the book that I just finished reading by John Gatto. A smattering of learning is a very dangerous thing, he said, not because ordinary people are too dumb to learn, just the opposite. They are too smart to be allowed to learn. People become dangerous when too many see through the illusion which holds society together. That is what I'm arguing against or fighting against or whatever. I want to educate people. I want people to open their eyes. I want people to think. I go back to that one thinking. What it is that the public schools are doing. They are dumbing the kids down. They are not allowing kids to grow. They are not allowing kids to learn, educate, grow, think for themselves, be critical thinkers, and definitely when it comes to the arts, all sorts of artistic things, the schools are so much, what's the word, like burning, snuffing the flame of being artistic and having these ideas and imagination and things out there. The public schools, they're so much part of our society that people think they have to, that they think it's a must, and they've got to do it and send their kids to it and everything because it's all everyone does. It's part of our society. That is the issue. And the public schools will teach you and teach your kids that the public school system is the only way to go, because if people stop and think for themselves, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for everybody involved, and usually in a good way. That's what I'm trying to do my best for, advocating for here, trying to do with these videos, is I want people's eyes to be open to the fact that our society is kind of messed up. All right, when it comes to schools and educations and daycares and children, our society is messed up. And I want people to kind of start opening their eyes and thinking about all of these things. Smart people have a tendency to realize, to think that, hey, maybe there's some things here going on that just doesn't make any sense. So with all of that said, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Basically, this goes back down to, I just want you to stop and I want you to think. You may feel like, and at the moment, it may seem very, very impossible for you to, be able to start changing and to start, thinking about taking your kids out of school, not doing the public school or daycares or anything. It can be a very scary and a very daunting task and everything, but in the long run, it's going to be probably going to be one of the best things you've ever done for your child. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, any questions about any of this, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. So go ahead and go down there, leave whatever you wish down there, and I will see you guys in the next video.